All right. Been a long time since I've done one of these, but Blue Jays get a win in the first game of the World Series 2025. This was an incredible game. From start to finish, from the first out to the bottom of the ninth. Could not be more impressed with how the Blue Jays played tonight. Going in, there was definitely some lineup questions of how Bichette would play. First time at second base, basically in forever. Do you want to disrupt a lineup that's been playing so well? And honestly, you need his bat in the lineup no matter what. Even if he can't run that well, we saw him try to run to first base. Wasn't quick, wasn't that agile, even though he did make a nice play from second base tonight. Overall, I think that, in a lot of pregame shows, a lot of U.S. media was talking about how, we were going to get run over. This series was going to be done in 4 to 5 games. There's going to be nothing. It's a formality. Why are you even playing this? And honestly, the Blue Jays came out tonight and showed them why they're in the World Series. This was an important game. It wasn't a must-win game. It was game 1 of the World Series. It's a starter. It's whatever. This game wasn't just the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. This was Canada versus the U.S. This was Canada versus the L.A. Dodgers. Drake versus Kendrick, if you will. I hate to bring that into it, but let's just, for the hell of it, why not throw it in there? Incredible game. I thought it was going to be tight. I didn't think it was going to be an 11-4 win the way that it was. Let's get to the main point of it. The main point of it, Addison Barger, first Grand Slam pinch hitter in the World Series ever. I mean, coming off the bench, you look back and you go, does this guy have what it takes? Why is he in here? Yes, he can kind of put the ball in play here and there. How's it going to be? He came in, got the pitch that he wanted, and just hit it out. And it was absolutely incredible. I mean, I can't imagine what it would have been like to actually be down there to see that. But what an incredible play. It's exactly what the Blue Jays needed to just know that we have this. We can do this. We can win this World Series. Now, again, it's one game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I get it. But just gave us a little bit of life. And that's what you shouldn't have done. You shouldn't have given us a little bit of life because now we can see it. We can see the light at the end. 3 more wins and we got this. So, good on him for doing that. Good on him for the whole team for playing well tonight. And that's I think that's the part that I think that a lot of the U.S. media was doubting about the Toronto Blue Jays was the fact that we got compared to the Brewers a lot in terms of how they play and how they hit. And yes, there are some comparisons, but not nearly the cohesiveness that this team has to be together, to play, to hit the way that they do, to run the pitch count up, to get the starting pitcher out. Blake Snell is one of the best pitchers in the game, and to get him out relatively early in the game was incredible for one, because their bullpen is good, but again, just to see a different look, again, putting a bullpen pitcher in a situation like that where the bases are loaded, nobody out, you're going to get a couple runs off that at least, right? At least 1, hopefully 2. But, a grand slam is absolutely incredible. We will take that. So, you got to give him credit for that. Absolutely incredible. Shohei Ohtani. I thought, coming into this, there would be a lot more hate towards Shohei Ohtani. And I guess seemingly there was, but it was underneath the surface. It didn't seem to come up there a lot before the game. But again, striking him out in the first at-bat of this was it was a sign from God. It was a sign from God saying, yeah, we're meant to be here. We're the Toronto Blue Jays. We're better than we're better than you think we are. We deserve to be here, and there's a reason. So maybe the Dodgers were just off a little bit long. People said that they were going to be rusty. A lot of media said that they weren't going to be. It's the LA Dodgers. But, I think they were tonight. I think it's going to be a lot harder in game 2. But at the same time, I think the Jays are pumped up. we have light at the end of the tunnel. We can do this. So there's possibility here for, a hell of a series. Obviously, I don't think the Jays are going to, win this in 4 or 5. I think this is going to go 7. If you win the next one, fantastic. But again, you got three really hard games to go down to and play in LA. That's going to be tough. But at least getting the first one at home, it quells all those questions, puts everybody's mind at ease. And I think we can all sleep a little bit easier tonight, if we sleep at all, after that incredible win, that we can do this, which is really awesome. So just all around, just an incredible effort. Let's go to Savage for a little bit too. A 22-year-old pitcher who's barely had any starts in the major leagues, started in A-ball this year or the year before, like whatever. 6 or 7 games pitched in the majors, starting game 1 of the World Series. The amount of pressure on a kid like that is just absolutely insane. There was times, he didn't have his best stuff, and there was times where I wanted to throw up because I was so nervous for him. But honestly, I was very impressed by him tonight. He kept the game to 2-0. Could have been a lot worse. No, he didn't have his best stuff, but he kept us in the game. He made some great plays, and his defense backed him up. Yes, they did. But you know what? Overall, I think we should be really happy with how he plays tonight. And hopefully he'll play again. Hopefully we'll see him again in this series very soon. We got Gausman tomorrow, and I think if we can just get these pitchers up and just have good games, then I think there's a chance. I think there's a damn good chance that we can win this thing. So let's all cross our fingers and toes, be happy, and take it for what it is. We got game 1. So, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you again for game 2. Cheers.